Hello and welcome to day 2 of the Pixel Pioneers program. Today we'll be looking at coding essentials, visuals, and motion. Welcome back, Pixel Pioneers. Today we'll learn how to arrange coding blocks in the correct order, make sprites move smoothly, fix simple coding mistakes, add backgrounds, sprites, and sounds. Begin building our own simple gamer animation. By the end of today, you'll have started creating a project that you'll continue to improve throughout the week. Part 1. Sequencing. What is sequencing? A sequence is the correct order of instructions to happen. Computers always follow simple instructions one at a time. If the order changes, so does the result. Why does order matter? Think about it like making a burger. Which order makes more sense? Eat burger, make sandwich? Or make the burger, eat the sandwich? Scratch only works the exact same way. The order of blocks matters. It's like if you tried eating cookies without baking them. Makes no sense. Like, the same logic is required for coding. Sequencing in Scratch. Scratch reads blocks top to bottom. For example, one green flag clicked, move 100 steps, turn 90 degrees, then say hello. Every instruction happens one after the other. Making smooth movement. Instead of having move 200 steps, use smaller movement blocks, weight blocks, and glide blocks. This makes animation look much more smoother and easier. But some of you might be wondering, why don't we just use big numbers like move 200 steps? I'll show you in this following example. First, let's grab our one space key press button and drag it to the workbench. Then, let's grab our move 10 steps button and modify the 10 to 200. Now, I want everyone to click the space bar. See what happens when you click it to the cat. Yeah, looks like it teleported. That was good for easily making the cat move. It doesn't look good at all. This is why programmers often use smaller numbers with weight blocks. Then movement looks more smooth and controlled. For example, instead of just having move 200 steps, let's try putting in some. Let's just try putting in like maybe move 5 steps. Move's way shorter, right? But when we hold it, it looks way better. Because if we kept our old version of move 200 steps, it would have been, if anyone tried holding it, the cat would instantly disappear. But now with this, it makes moving it look way smoother. This is better when you're trying to make games with keyboard controls, which we'll get into next lesson. Planning movement. Before clicking the green flag, ask yourself, where will my sprite start? Where should it move? What should happen next? Will another sprite join in? Planning first helps you write code better. What is debugging? Debugging means finding and fixing mistakes you make while coding. Even professional programmers debug every day. Mistakes help us learn. Fun fact, most programmers spend often like half of their time just working on debugging their code. So don't beat yourself over making a few mistakes. Common beginner bugs. Some common mistakes are blocks in the wrong order, forgetting the green flag event, sprites facing the wrong direction, missing weight blocks during movement or animation, moving too far or too fast. Every bug has a solution. You just need to find it. Part 2. Visuals. Making your project look great. Now that your sprites move, let's make them look interesting while they're doing it. Visual designs help your story or game look more fun. First, choosing the backgrounds. Backgrounds tell players where your project takes place, for example, a forest, space, underwater, a school, a castle, or a city. Choose a background that matches your idea. Adding more sprites. A project becomes more exciting with more than one character. It's like when you add more characters to a story, it's kind of boring only having one, right? You can add animals, people, objects, vehicles, monsters, or food. Each sprite has their own actions to code, and I can show you how to add your own sprite now. Now, there are 3 ways you can add your own sprites. Version 1. Oh, no, there are actually 4. My mistake. Version 1. Choosing from Scratch's database. By simply double-clicking the Add New Sprite button, you enter Scratch's catalog of very unique sprites. You can choose out of any of these sprites to help add to your game. The only problem with this is that they're limited. For example, let's try adding bear walking. Now, we have sprites for the bear, but the only problem is we're only limited to what Scratch made. Now, let's look at the second version of adding more sprites. We can paint our own sprites in by using the circle tool, rectangle tool, line tool, text tool, fill tool, erase tool, brush tool, point tool, and select tool. We can create our own sprites. Though the only problem with this method is that it's the most time-consuming method out of the 4. Method 3, uploading sprites. By downloading a sprite sheet online, like for example, one like this, you could upload it to Scratch, and then take out every single sprite, and then have your own character. The only problem is that like painting, it takes a while. And now, let me get to my favorite version of adding new sprites to a project. First, let's just save it for now. Next, I want everyone to go to Scratch, to click the Scratch icon, to go to the home page. Then, let's search up a character in sprites. For example, let's go with an iconic gaming character like Sonic. We'll search Sonic sprites. Then, click enter. Now, something that's quite common on Scratch is that people often upload multiple catalogs of many sprites for game characters. For example, in this case, Sonic. Now, let's take one of these sprite sheets. Let's take this one, Modern Sonic Sprites. Now, let's see inside, and then look for Sonic. The name of the character with all the sprites is usually labeled as their character name. Next, just look through the character and make sure all the sprites are accounted for. Now that we know they're all there, what we're going to do is open our backpack. Then drag our game character sprite, in this case Sonic, into the backpack. Now we're going to close our backpack, go back to Scratch, and then go back to our game. Now we can drag Sonic or whatever character you chose from your backpack into any project you want. Then all we have to do is clear out all the blocks. A method I personally like is right-clicking, then doing delete 188 blocks. Then now your character is free to code from. Now, let's get rid of all the sprites we don't need. And let's just make Sonic appear. But now, our game looks kind of empty. Let's try adding let's try adding a background. Now, let's go back to Scratch, and then search for a background you want. Actually, let's not go to Scratch, because Google often works better. Now, let's type So let's type a background that you want. For example, to fit with Sonic, let's go Green Hill Zone. Now, let's go to images, and then find an image that you like. I'll take this one. Now, let's right click, save image as, save it to our folder, and then go back to Scratch. Now, let's go back to our project, and then go to the stage, go to backdrops, and then the same way you'd upload sprites to the sprites category, we'll upload a backdrop. Then let's go to downloads. Now let's search for the picture we just downloaded. Seems like I can't find it. Let me try downloading it again. Save. Now let's head back to Scratch, downloads, and then make sure it's all files. Now let's open it. Now let's open it up. Seems like the background we've downloaded isn't supported by Scratch. WEBP often do not work with Scratch. So instead, we'll enter a website called Cloud Convert to change it to a PNG. Convert. This can be very helpful if you find the perfect background but it's in the wrong file type. Then, let's select the file from our computer, which is this background. Then, select the format, which should be PNG, right here, and then convert. Should only take a moment, and then we download the new background. Now, let's head back to our project. And now, let's upload the background from our downloads. Perfect. Now let's scale up the screen. Perfect. Sonic has the perfect background to run around in. But now, without some music and sound effects, our game feels like it's lacking something. So now, I'll show you all without having to search hours for it on Scratch. First, let's type in the name of our song. In this case, let's go Green Hill Zone theme. Now, let's open YouTube and make sure it's the right song. Perfect. Now that we know it's the right song, we'll click share. Next page, then we'll go CNV MP3. Next, let's paste it in, and now let's convert it. Now we have our song as an MP3 file. Now let's go to Sonic. Now we'll click the upload button, and then upload our new song into Scratch. Now let's just listen to it again to make sure nothing got lost. Perfect. So now, to make sure that this song always plays, we'll go into Sonic and code this very simple code. One green flag clicked, forever, play sound, your song name until done. Now, every time the green flag is clicked, it'll always play a song. And because we use the play sound until done, it'll never just start infinitely over again, But make sure it's play until done and not just start sound. Because listen to what happens when you do start sound. It starts glitching out. Now, let's save, and let's continue with our lesson. Character placement.